you know, that local governments are struggling now to create an environment of job creation. And I just read in the paper, Harrisburg has, you know, been taken over by the governor in Pennsylvania. We know the problems in Mansfield. You know, local governments will have to come to grips with how they control their costs and how they create jobs. I mean, you know, there's a rising concern about, you know, voting for more taxes at the local level. You got to control your costs. So that's what we've given them the tools to do. We'll see what happens. We'll see.
Governor, you don't typically comment on polls, but is this one disheartening?
Hey, you know, do I seem disheartened? I mean, I'm doing my job. And, you know, you do your job, you put your best stuff forward, and you see it, you know, you live by the outcome.
Governor, the message has been out there for a while, and the poll is showing an increasing in opposition with pretty much almost every demographic group opposed. I mean, how do you persuade minds or change those numbers at this point?
Oh, you just work as hard as you can, try to explain it. You know, you don't quit. I mean, if I'm you know, if I'm in a golf game and I'm down 6 holes with 7 to play, I try to play harder.
Do you think there are things people don't know about Senate Bill 5 yet that you want to share with them?
Well, I mean, look, there's just a lot of great misinformation out there, and you know, some of it is a matter of emotion versus kind of facts, and we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I don't really. I go out and do my job. I tell people what's involved with it, and I explain it to them, and either they'll get it or they don't. You know, I mean, my kids don't get everything I tell them. That's just the way it goes. That's kind of life.
Governor, on the Turnpike, you're talking leasing, you're talking bonding. Is that an indication that you've made up your mind that you're going to do something, that the status quo is not acceptable out there?
I thought I answered all that. We don't know what we're going to do yet. You have to look through it. It's sort of like the prison issue. You know, on the prisons, we had originally intended to be able to sell 4 or 5 of them, and we ended up selling 1, Jim. You take your time on this because you don't want to, and let me tell you, I could have done 4 or 5 and taken a big chunk up front, but there's a tail connected to that. So you just want to make sure that when you make a decision like this, it's going to really benefit the folks of the state. Now, it may be that we'll look at it and this isn't the right time. We may find out it's better to bond against the revenue than to lease. I don't know yet, but we're going to look at it thoroughly, and but there's a lot of needs we have in this state for infrastructure. We just have to see what the best deal is for the people of the state. This is not a matter of, you know, of something, you know, some ideological deal. This is about bringing resources to serious challenges that we have in Ohio.
Today you said billions. Do you have any more specifics on that number?
No, because I give you a number and then you measure against it, so the answer is no.
Do you think Republican legislative leaders should sit down with Democrats and work out a compromise on congressional district maps?
I think there's ongoing talks. You know, I don't draw lines over there. This has not been my thing. You know, of course, I always would like to see reach some agreement on this. We'll see. We'll see. I think there's efforts to try to reach out and see if there can be a compromise.
Federal government says that they will reconsider the study, the Turnpike study money. Now, did you lobby them on that?
I didn't, but I know Jerry Ray talked to people, and you know, the guy basically said the reason why we changed our minds was because of political pressure, and I guess they just changed it back. So we get the money to study it, and that's a good thing for us.
Governor, I know you have a work group working on these things right now, but do you personally favor a ban on exotic animal ownership in the state?
I want the group to work on this, but I have a really hard time understanding why somebody ought to have a grizzly bear on their private compound, or lions or Bengal tigers. I just don't get it, you know. But it's a complicated issue. That's kind of my gut on the whole thing. Exotic animals, I don't. What is that? A cockatoo, a bird, or something? You know, that's why you have to sort through it. But when it comes to these dangerous animals, I just don't get it. And I think what Jack Hanna's told me, you know, you may have some breeders, you may have some circumstances where it's legitimate for somebody to have it, but they clearly have to be qualified, they have to be certified. And you know, I know the group met yesterday. I haven't gotten a report on what they found, but we need to address it. Look, I think we took a very good first step, and believe me, we had no authority. You can't just put out an order and have nothing grounded in the law. But I'm really proud of the fact that the team studied the statutes, and I mean, everybody, I think, here all of us are shocked to hear that the Humane Society actually had arrest powers. And so let's use the powers we have, and let's think through what we need to do to get a handle on this, because we're an outlier on this, and I'd like us to be a better leader on this whole thing. Thank you all very much.
Thank you,
This
Councilman.
way, Governor.